over your career, you've achieved a lot of awards. You've got the Kennedy Center Honors, Grammy Lifetime Achievement, 12 other Grammys, Gershwin Prize, and tomorrow you're getting inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. When you got the call, was it like, it's about damn time?
I thought they had the wrong number.
Willie Nelson cancels more concerts. Over health concerns country, superstar Willie Nelson's fans and well-wishers are getting very anxious about the continued cancellations of their beloved star's concerts owing to his health concerns. Nelson announced that he will be missing another Outlaw Music Festival tour date as he recovers from an unspecified illness. The 91-year-old canceled his appearance at Virginia Beach, but the show went on with Bob Dylan, Alison Krauss, and Robert Plant. The Outlaw Music Festival tour opened on June 21st, but Nelson had to miss the first weekend on doctor's orders. Posts on his social media pages indicated a non-serious illness that he could recover from quickly. Response to Nelson's social media messages show considerable concern for his long-term health. Fans held their breath last week as he started with, "We regret to inform you," before sharing he was sick. "I don't know how many more of these posts I can handle. I panic each time," shares one fan on Instagram after the latest announcement. "My heart keeps dropping at these OMG," says another. The new note states that Nelson is expected to return to the tour shortly. In fact, he has 7 concerts scheduled over 10 days to start July. In May, Nelson released an album called The Border and appeared on Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter album. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last year and performed with Sheryl Crow, Chris Stapleton, and Dave Matthews. Nelson was born on April 29, 1933, in Abbott, Texas. The son of Muriel and Ira D. Nelson, he and his older sister Bobby were raised by their paternal grandparents during the Great Depression. With their grandparents, the siblings attended their town's small Methodist church, where they received their earliest exposure to music. Their loving grandparents had a musical background, and Nelson has described them as dedicated musical teachers. They encouraged Nelson and his sister to play and learn music at an early age. Nelson got his first guitar at the age of 6, mere months prior to the death of his beloved grandfather, and he began writing his own poetry and early musical compositions shortly thereafter. His famous gospel song Family Bible draws from his early exposure to religious music. Though family and faith were and remain top priorities for Nelson, in his 2015 memoir, It's a Long Story. My Life, the self-described guitar picker, recalls that church did not calm my restless and rambunctious soul. In 1947, Nelson joined the gospel group Bud Fletcher and the Texans, which already featured Bobby on piano. He continued to attend school and played numerous sports. The band played the local club circuit for the next few years, and Bobby and Bud Fletcher married. It was during this time Nelson first appeared on local radio. After graduating from Abbott High School in 1950, Nelson enlisted in the United States Air Force and first stationed at Lackland in San Antonio. The Korean War was ongoing, but his military career was short-lived when persistent back problems from previous injuries led to a medical discharge 9 months later. Nelson briefly enrolled in a farming program at Baylor University thereafter. While pursuing his studies, he took odd jobs to make ends meet, including selling encyclopedias door-to-door. But Nelson had not lost his passion for music, which he pursued by working as a disc jockey for various radio stations. Nelson moved around over the next few years, regularly playing gigs at local clubs and working on his songwriting skills. It was during this period that he wrote some of his finest early work, including Nightlife, Crazy, and Funny How Time Slips Away. Though the 1962 single Touch Me did reach the country top 10, Nelson's debut album And Then I Wrote failed to chart, as did his follow-up album Here's Willie Nelson. It seemed his efforts as a performing artist would fail to bring the success that others enjoyed from recording his songs. In 1970, Nelson had moved to Tennessee, but a tragic fire burnt down his house, prompting the singer to contemplate giving up entirely. Returning to his native Texas with family in tow, he settled in Austin and soon became an important part of the city's country music scene, performing regularly at its many venues. Back at home, Nelson also resumed his recording efforts, but in his own style and on his own terms. Soon, that unique approach won the long-haired, bandana-wearing performer a devoted following. Released in 1973, Shotgun Willie is considered by many to be one of his best albums, showcasing his abilities as a singer, storyteller, and performer, despite the fact that it did not chart well. The same would be true of 1974's Phases and Stages. However, with 1975's Red-Headed Stranger, Nelson had his real first taste of success. Not only did the album reach #1 on the country charts, but it also crossed over to the pop top 40. Among the highlights from the recording is the Fred Rose-penned number Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, which gave Nelson his first #1 country hit and earned him his first Grammy Award for Best Country Vocal Performance. Nelson suffers from emphysema and even quit smoking marijuana in 2019. Breathing issues have kept him from the stage on several occasions throughout.